So trading with prop firms in 2024 is very, very different to in 2022 and 2023 when I'd previously made videos on how I passed the challenges. The rules have changed, the whole prop firm climate has changed drastically, so the way I trade them now is going to be very different as a result of this. So currently I'm trading an FTMO challenge and I've taken some trades today, and I'm basically going to talk about my current process of passing prop firm challenges and basically the difference from 2022, 2023 to now in 2024. You'll probably noticed on the channel that I was doing that prop firm series at the start of the year, and it's been a couple of months where I haven't uploaded any episodes. The main reason for that is the firms I was actually trading have shut down. So the prop firms I was getting payouts from, consistent payouts, I think we had around $23,000 in the first 3 episodes. So we were 23% of the way towards the target, which was 100k in payouts. However, all that time, all that effort put in to actually try and get the payouts, obviously we got a few, but then after that, we lost the accounts, the firm shut down. So I kind of took a little break from prop firms. And if you put so much time and money into something and then they suddenly get banned and you can't really trade them anymore, why would I trust any other firms? So what I did, took a few months off, traded personal funds, and now we're back with probably the most reputable firm in the industry, which is FTMO. You guys know on the channel I've traded FTMO quite a lot. So we're going to go for max allocation with FTMO, maybe make it into a small series. We're starting with a 100k account. And if I just show you the progress so far, today we made just under 6%, around 5.9k. I'll put a screenshot on the screen. And overall on the account for the week, so the couple of trades this week and last week, we were up around 3.4%. Obviously that is towards the 10k target or the 10% target. So you'll notice that usually when I was trading them before, I was risking 3, 4, upwards of towards 5% of the account per trade. And you can't do this anymore. They have gambling rules. Prop firms don't like people passing quickly with high lot sizes. So I've had to change my approach. And obviously people wouldn't see that as the best way of trading them anyway. But in my situation, I have a lot of money outside of trading. It's not really worth me waiting months and months of risking 0.5% to pass a prop firm challenge. I'm not going to do that. The longer it takes me to take trades and not get any money from them, the more frustrating it is, the more impatient, one is going to become as a result of just basically trading for nothing, especially as it is demo accounts on the challenges. And when I was doing it for firms and they would shut down, it was not a great feeling. So now I'm just risking 1%, but using my scaling plan. I'm going to break down one of the trades later in this video about how I actually use that scaling plan today to double my positions on the trades. The reason I use the scaling plan is you're obviously scaling in, so the wins are doubling, but the risk is only increasing by around 0.25 to 0.5%. Total risk on both positions combined is max 1.5%. Whereas if you were trading that normally, adding another position, you're adding an additional 1% risk. So total, you could lose 2%. So I'm saving 0.5 or 0.75% of the account if that trade does go to stop loss. But the beautiful thing about it is that if that does go to take profit, for a 1 to 3, for example, I then make 6% or just over 6%. It could be 6.5 or 6.75% profit. These scalings only work on certain scenarios when the price does come into drawdown before then going to the take profit. I have different scalings for when I'm in profit and for when I'm in drawdown. The one in drawdown I use more on prop firm challenges because if there's a profit target to make, I obviously want to be making profit towards that target as quickly as possible. I don't want to be on challenges for weeks, if not months at a time, for the reasons I mentioned previously. Personal trading, I'll scale into winners. The reason for this is I only take very, very few trades. So if I'm in a winning position, I want to basically maximize the profits I can make on any position. And I feel like scaling into drawdown on my personal account when it's my own funds at risk, it's just not something that I want to be doing. Obviously, prop firms, its 100k account is around $450. So, if that fails, it's not the end of the world. And the ROI, the potential payouts that you can actually get from a 100k account is technically unlimited. So the ROI is unlimited. There's no limit on the profits you can make. So, why wouldn't you invest that? And why wouldn't you want to pass as quickly as possible? So I'm going to take you onto the charts now to show you how I actually got this scale in today. Obviously, you can see that GU did buy and we went to the upside. And this was, a trade I was actually in, GU buys. So we got into the trade around this area here. And as you guys know, I use a 10 pip stop loss. So if we do this here, 10 pip stop loss, 1 to 3 risk to reward. As you know, I use 10 pip stop loss, 30 pip take profit. So if I win, I make 3%. And as you saw today, I made just shy of 6%. So that was obviously using the scale-ins. So you'll see here at the original entry, that price then went into drawdown. And if we actually measure this out, you'll see that price went down around 7 pips into drawdown. So this is a great example of what I was mentioning earlier. So 10 pip stop loss, price goes 7 pips into drawdown. I'm obviously down 70% of my risk. So my risk being 1%, this is down 0.7% on the account. This is when I scaled into the position. I'll only scale in if it is still valid. If the trade is still valid for me to take, and let's say price was in that area, it would still be an area that I would buy from. If price had actually broken structure to the downside, or it has done something that completely invalidates my trade, obviously I wouldn't scale in. That'd be very, very stupid, and only a rookie would actually do that. So I scaled into my position with the same lot size. A lot of people would make the mistake here. They'd be, oh, I'm only 3 pips from my stop loss. Let me use a bigger lot size so it's 1% risk. That is not what I want to do. I want to minimize my risk, but maximize my reward. So I want to get the biggest upside possible with the smallest risk as possible, pretty much. So on this trade, when I scaled in, I only had a few pips stop loss, but I had the same lot size. So for example, if the full loss here is 1K or 1%, this scale in would have obviously the reward of 3K or 3.7K, for example, but it also meant that I'd only lose $300. So total risk on this trade now. So if I just mark it up for you here, so total risk equals 1.3%. If we do RR before, 1 to 3, and if we do RR after, so for the after we have 1.3 to, if you do the maths, 6.7. So it turns from a 1 to 3 to a 1.3 to 6.7 risk to reward. So you can see immediately that a slight increase in risk means that we can just make so much profit on a singular trade. And this also means that in 2 setups, I can pass a 10% challenge with ease. You know, if I have 2 wins, I passed. And if I have 1 win, 1 loss, and a win, I passed. This is kind of the way I actually want to do it. You know, let's say I had a trade that was a win, I had a couple losses, I had another win. Let's say one of these was a scale in, one of them wasn't. I'm still up a couple of percent. And that's not really the end of the world, is it? As long as I'm in profit, that's all I'm happy with. If you're taking away 1%, 1%, 1% towards your target every single time, nothing really bad can happen. Especially now as the prop firms do actually have unlimited time. So I don't have to pass it in 30 days like I would have to have done previously. So you do have unlimited time, but obviously I don't want to spend, as much time as possible actually taking the challenges, because that would not be great. So the way I'm actually picking my challenges in 2024, and actually picking the firms I'm going with, I'm basically going with longevity. So firms that have been around 6 months, a year, maybe even 2 years, I'm just not really going to trust having, making tens of thousands of dollars profit. What's the chance I actually get paid out from those accounts? Even if it is below 95%, I don't want to do it. If it's not a 100% chance to get paid out, or even 99% chance I get paid out, what's the point in even doing it? Because a lot of these firms find a way to avoid paying you. There'll be a rule that you broke that's in the terms and conditions. They'll not like your risk style, so they can just fail you. They can fail you for any reason they like. So I want to go with a firm that long term has paid people out consistently. FTMO, I've had payouts from previously. I think I've had just shy of 20k payouts from FTMO, and it's been good. I haven't had any issues. And also I obviously think the same with True Forex funds, with my Forex funds, and all these other firms that unfortunately did shut down. And I only ever had good experiences. But FTMO, I feel like they've been around for, I think it's 8 or 10 years. So I'm pretty sure they're not going to suddenly become illiquid. So I'm very happy to risk my money with FTMO. So looking on the charts now, when price is pushing up like this, a lot of people look at it and say, oh, well, it actually went up 8% in profit. This is what I could have made. I could have passed in one trade and everything like this. But a little bit of advice for taking challenges. Obviously, I've taken many, many challenges, passed many, many challenges very quickly. And the biggest mistake I see is people not taking profits. If you're taking 2%, 3% profit on a single trade, you only need to do that 4 or 5 times and you've passed. Obviously, there are going to be losses scattered in there, but you just need to think of it as every trade I take that's 1% closer, 0.5% closer. It's just going to become a lot easier for you psychologically because you're seeing the target become closer and closer and closer. It's like if you're running a marathon, for example, and you can see the finish line. The closer it gets, the more likely you're going to be like, okay, I can push through now. The pain is bad, but it's completely fine because I can see the finish line. It's right there, and it's going to be very easy after that. Obviously, in trading, it's never going to be easy, and you're going to feel like quitting pretty much every day unless you win, obviously. But sometimes that does also make you feel like quitting because you feel like you've made it. But right now, we're looking at taking maybe a trade tomorrow, maybe a trade on Friday. Hopefully get the challenge passed. If we do a scale in tomorrow or Friday, hopefully we can get it passed. We need to make around 6.5%. So yeah, that is how I pass challenges in 2024.